Happy New Year, guys! Happy 2025 for you! This year is gonna be amazing. It's a new year, new start, new beginnings. But before we will get into the video, I want to show you something real quick. This is a small gun. It's called the Xshot. You know, it's Xshot. Everything that has an X, it has to be the most lethal, deadliest weapon. This $7 toy gun is amazing. It can shoot up to 20 meters according to the box. You just pull up this lever. You load this sponge bullet into the gun, aim somewhere, two hands move. This gun is so crazy amazing. It shoots so strong and it's so cheap. From now on, I will always turn on and off my light switches with this gun. But back to the video. Back to being serious again, because after all, you clicked on this video to learn the real cost of a camera upgrade, not to learn about a toy gun, though it's pretty cool. It's 2025, you want to buy a new camera for your business, a camera that's going to be better in every way that your previous camera was. I'm using the A7 IV right now that I purchased recently instead of the A7 III, and the A7 IV is better in every way. I'm just filming on that one because I love that camera so much, so I'm gonna explain to you everything on the A7 III. This video is for people who already own a couple of lenses and are somewhat like basic camera body. We are talking about upgrading within the same brand, so from a Sony A7 III to a Sony A7 IV, not from, let's say, a Sony to a Lumix, because that's like a whole different story. It's gonna cost you so much more. You have to buy a new body and a new lens and a new everything. Even if you're switching from a basic Sony to a better Sony, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. You're checking online and you can see a camera is costing like maybe $2,000 or $3,000, and then you think that's it. The best way how I could explain this is with a red camera. And even though I never owned, I know that the red camera is basically a box style camera. So you have a box and a lens that you attach to it. And then you can hold it like this, like you would hold a box. So if you want to use that camera properly, you have to buy like a top handle, a side handle, and to see what you're actually filming, you need a field monitor, and then you would need a cage. Yeah, you also need batteries, and then you would need an SSD or some kind of very expensive memory card. I think with the red, you also need special memory card reader, a bunch of different things, a lots of like other equipment. We are doing like a cheaper price category now, easier digital cameras, not a cinema camera. First thing I would like to tell you, if you're switching from like an older camera, make sure to check what kind of battery does the new camera that you're gonna buy accepts, because in the Sony's case, the newer Sonys accept this NPFZ 100 batteries. The A7 III, the A7 IV, the A7S III, the FX3, A1, A1 Mark II, and 6600, 6700. As far as I know, they all accept the same NPFZ 100 battery. But let's say if you're switching to a camera that accepts a different battery and you have like 8 batteries, it's gonna cost you a lot to buy the new batteries, the same amount of batteries that you had already. So just make sure to check and consider the batteries. It can cost you a lot. The next thing I want to tell you when it comes to camera upgrades, a much higher image quality. For example, the A7 III can shoot 24 megapixel pictures, while the A7 IV can shoot up to 33 megapixel images, which gonna result in much higher file sizes, and you have to store those somewhere. When it comes to video, the Sony A7 III can shoot 4K 420 8-bit XAVC file format, which is gonna be a much smaller file size compared to the Sony A7 IV's 4K 10-bit 422 XAVC SI format, which is gonna be a much bigger file size. It's worth considering if you want to shoot in that higher best quality file format, because you may need to buy extra HDDs or extra SSDs, because the A7 IV's XAVC SI file format is crazy big. So just one thing to keep in mind when you do your camera upgrades. Another thing worth mentioning, as I told you, the A7 III can shoot this XAVC S5 format, and this file format is a very good one. The files are not too big, your computer can process this file format very easily, and the memory cards required to this file format is this, as you can see, it's this V30 memory card. I never had any issues with these memory cards. But when I bought the A7 IV, the thing I didn't know is that if you want to shoot in that XAVC SI best quality super big file size format, then you have to buy some of these V90 memory cards, which gonna cost you much more than these V30 memory cards that were still good for the A7 III, but not so much for the A7 IV. The A7 IV can still shoot in that XAVC S format. The A7 III can only shoot in that one. But if you want to shoot in the best possible file format, the XAVC SI on a Sony A7 IV, you have to buy some of these V90 memory cards, which gonna cost you a lot of money because they are much more expensive than the V30 ones. The last thing I want to talk with you about when you upgrade your cameras, you maybe already bought some equipment for your current camera. If you're buying a new camera, that equipment maybe not gonna be good for your new camera. In my case, it's these SMALLRIG cages. None of these two cages are actually good for the Sony A7 IV. Buttons are a little bit different. The camera is a little bit bigger. If you're upgrading to a new camera, the cages and the SMALLRIG equipments are not gonna be good. Other SMALLRIG equipments you bought, like for example a top handle, a side handle, they're gonna be no issue for your new camera because you can just attach them. So these were all the things that in my opinion you have to keep in mind when you upgrading to a new camera. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, make sure to check out my other videos. And it's 2025. I'm planning so many more videos for you guys. Make sure to press the like button. It really helps me a lot. Happy 2025, and I'm gonna see you in the next videos. Until then, see you guys. Cheers. Xshot.